Welcome back to the channel, guys. Well, today we're going to be coating the chassis in Feronite, and I've been talking about Feronite in the last couple of videos, and a lot of people don't know what it is. I used it back in the mid-90s when I was working in a hardware store, and we got some in, and it is amazing stuff. Like, I'll just show you what it looks like. This is it here. And it's basically a primer and rust converter all in one. And it works amazing. It's actually an Australian product, environmentally friendly because it's actually water-based, which is fantastic. But the idea is, as you can tell by the pictures here, you can use it on balustrades, on wrought iron. I mean, they've got oil rigs, boats, you name it. Anything that rusty metal, this stuff will treat it. And the best thing about it, if you've used rust converters before in the past, you generally have to get them coated as quickly as you can once you've put the acid solution on it. Whereas Feronite acts as a primer. Once you've applied it, it'll start to turn bluey black, and then you know the reaction's going off. Then you can coat it over the top of that with 2-pack epoxy. For the automotive trade, it's fantastic. You can use it to get into really tight spots. And this is where, you know, on an application like this with the bus down the front of the nose in here, you know, sprayed in there, we convert like a little one of those pump up garden sprayers, and you can put a nozzle on the end of it and spray it down all these spots that are hard to get, and it'll coat it. And in those areas, it's good and done. I'll show you, I'm going to do this entire chassis in it, and you can spray it, you can thin it out with water. I'm going to just run it straight out of the container, just with a brush. What you don't want to do is, whatever you mix out, put it in the container, use it up. You can't end up tipping it back in because it'll end up contaminating the contents of your bottle. One thing about Feronite, you can buy it in 3 different sizes. Buy what you need. Don't buy a 4-litre container and have it sitting there, because it has a shelf life of about 12 months. And what'll end up happening is, in the bottom, it'll just start to harden up in that bottom section, and you've got to keep shaking it, keep it going, but eventually it will go solid on you. So for a job like this, I know I'm going to definitely use up a litre here, and that's fine, not a problem at all. I can paint it all out and get it done. It's based on tannin from a bark of a mimosa tree, formulated with a vinyl acrylic and other sort of anti-corrosive additives added to it. Being that it's water-based is just fantastic. You know, you haven't got that issue of putting bad stuff into the environment. I mean, it's mildly acidic. You obviously want to be careful, don't go putting it on your skin and stuff. The way you apply it, it's best if you spray down what you're doing first with a bit of water, just to sort of moist up the steel, and then you apply the Feronite straight over the top of it. It's stable for a few months before you'd need to paint it. So, you know, doing a car restoration, you can put this stuff on it and leave it for a couple of months before you even went and sealed it up with epoxy, which is fantastic. I've sprayed it before on the whole entire chassis. This one I'm not going to bother because I've only got a few little sections here and there to do. But you can put it through a spray gun and just water it down up to 10%. So pretty much with your preparation for your material, all you really need to do is, you know, make sure there's no oil and grease on the material. If it's got loose, rusty, flaky rust, you can scrape it off, wire brush it, and then basically just clean it with water and keep it damp, and then go straight over the top of it with the Feronite. So pretty much once you apply it, it's dry in 3 to 4 hours. I suppose you get the best results if you add a second coat after about 3 or 4 hours. And the coat just needs to be touched dry before you apply the second one on there. Pretty much 2 to 4 hours is when you would be able to paint over the top of it. I normally leave it overnight if I'm going to put the 2-part epoxy over the top of it. That just makes sure that it's you know, properly dry. I've got a section of chassis rail over here. You know, classic example. You know, this has just got surface rust on it, but we'll put a little bit on this just to show you the process. Just spray a bit of water on it. All right, I'll just leave that there now and watch it do its thing, just with a bit of time lapse. So you can see already, guys, how quickly that's turned black. That's probably only 7-8 minutes. You know, that's just one thin coat of it. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. So what we're going to do now is I've wet down these chassis rails in here, and we're going to go and coat it and get all this done. And yeah, get it all nice and coated, then we can start putting our primers on. Righto guys, so after a few minutes you can see the effect that this Feronite does. You know, it's just turned it all totally black. You can see that little bit of a blue greeny tinge to it, and that's telling you that it's doing the job converting the rust and sealing it up. So what we're going to do now is just move on to these chassis rails and the side little girders, and we'll get all this done too. So I'll just pop you up here on the top of the bus here and get a bird's eye view. I'm going to spray it down with some water. There you go guys, so you can see there it's converting. It's got that real green tinge to it, and then it ends up going the bluey black. But that will be good to go, and tomorrow I can pretty much just put the 2-part epoxy on it. I will put this up on the hoist because I need to get underneath it and do the front guards underneath those, and also underneath this section of the floor here. So I'll put that up on the hoist, and then I can access that a little bit better. Yeah, as you can see there, I've used probably that much of the 1 litre, and that's done pretty much that whole section and that front bit there too. So it goes a long way. I mean, obviously we can put a second coat on it. Most of that there doesn't need it. I think the metal was in fairly good condition. So there, if you're after a good product, Australian made, you know, support our local economy. Like I said, I've been using it since the mid-90s. It's fantastic, especially for this sort of applications. So yeah, places to get Feronite from. It's made by Boatcraft Pacific. They're in Queensland, Australia. If you go to www.boatcraft.com.au, you can purchase it from the website too. So definitely a great product if you're doing any kind of restoration, any kind of ironwork, trailers, horse floats, cars, you name it, fences. This stuff is the go. Cheers guys. All right, well, we'll keep going on with this coating of the 55 panel van. Just show you in here, this is what I've done up inside here. This has all been done in the Feronite now. We just finished off underneath the guards. So yeah, it's got some wild colours going on, but that's pretty much, it's all done. We've got a couple of repairs obviously still to do here, and this section here is going to have to be cut out and a little piece put in here onto the bottom structure there. But you can see the difference, you know, that real bluey black colour once it's dried, and that's ready just for the 2-part epoxy to go straight on top of that, and we're ready to rock and roll. Inside the chassis here, that's all been done overnight, and it's all dried, and you can see how it's really turned black, done its job. So yeah, we're ready to do some epoxy on that one. Righto guys, so that'll conclude this video. I'd just like to say thanks to Ian from Boatcraft Pacific up in Queensland for sending me down a litre of Feronite. Much obliged, mate. And I love the product. I think you guys in the restoration business should get onto it, because it's a great thing for converting rust. Right, well, we'll catch you guys in the next video. Like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. You.